For all of the planning and foresight that went into Darth Sidious's execution of the final step towards the Sith Grand Plan in destroying both the Republic and Jedi, one significant error was his inability to predict Darth Vader's devastating injuries and the necessity of his suit and cybernetics. As Sidious realized in the weeks after the rise of the Empire, he hadn't foreseen his apprentice's defeat to Obi-Wan on Mustafar and the true vulnerability of Vader then. When coming to this conclusion, Sidious would ultimately come to garner at least some shred of respect for the Jedi Master and his success. But it wasn't just that Obi-Wan was able to defeat his powerful apprentice, with Sidious admiring the skills and power Obi-Wan demonstrated on Mustafar. I'd argue that that part of it was rather meaningless to Sidious, with the skills of Obi-Wan unimpressive compared to his own mastery of the Force and his remaining goals of trying to learn the secrets of the dark side and dominate the galaxy. Nonetheless, there was an important element found within Obi-Wan's victory that Palpatine had to recognize distanced him from the failures that plagued the Jedi Order for centuries. Only weeks after Order 66, with Sidious attempting to help Darth Vader find his place within the dark side and move on from the life he had as Anakin Skywalker, the Dark Lord of the Sith would explain to his apprentice exactly why Obi-Wan was able to defeat him, something that obviously confused Vader. Sidious explained that Obi-Wan emerged victorious in their duel because he went to Mustafar with only one intention, which was to kill Darth Vader. It was a level of focus and boldness that Sidious had long noticed was absent from all Jedi within the Order. In fact, Sidious continued by telling Vader that if the Jedi Order had shown the same resolute intention that Obi-Wan had on Mustafar, and remained focused on doing what needed to be done to destroy the Sith rather than simply their fears of the dark side, Sidious was confident it would have been far more difficult to eradicate their order. Fortunately for the Sith, Obi-Wan had broken away from the caution demonstrated by the Jedi too late, but it was something that allowed Obi-Wan to defeat Vader, and had this attitude been adopted by the Order sooner, Sidious recognized it might have cost himself, Vader, and the Sith everything. Obi-Wan had broken with the attitude of the Jedi that merely waited for the dark side to be destroyed through prophecy, which saw the Jedi holding themselves back in a rush to uphold their own power and the Republic, and Sidious had to admire Obi-Wan for this, even though it resulted in unforeseen and undesirable results on Mustafar. While it might appear to be only a minor action by Obi-Wan, Sidious knew its importance, having preyed upon the Jedi's lack of intention, focus, and doing what needed to be done for decades by that time. As Sidious discussed with his master Darth Plagueis decades before Order 66, they benefited tremendously by finding themselves battling against the Jedi Order that was overly cautious to the point of inaction and lethargic, almost tired of the endless struggle against the dark side. As Sidious would learn and come to recognize himself under Plagueis, there was a hollowness at the center of the Jedi Order, one that refused to intervene directly to take control of galactic events from the Republic, instead upholding the Republic's edicts to their own detriment. Sidious and Plagueis understood, with Sidious being the ultimate beneficiary, that the complacency of the Jedi had opened the door to catastrophe. Dooku would also come to recognize the Jedi High Council's inaction and their inability to embrace change was leading them down a path that allowed the dark side to emerge victorious, even before he shifted his allegiances to the Sith. In the era of Dooku and Sidious, it was evident the Jedi refused to directly confront the rising tide of the dark side, simply doing what they could to contain it. Dooku saw clearly that despite the Jedi knowing for 200 years that the power of the dark side had been gaining strength, the Order had made only minimal efforts to thwart it, and it was the High Council's appearance to simply wait for the prophesized Chosen One to save them that was a significant factor in his fall to the dark side to join the Sith. For centuries, the Sith knew the Jedi Order's lack of resolute intention to destroy the Sith of the Rule of Two era and push back the dark side created the environment for their victory, and it was within the complacency of the Jedi where Sidious would take the final steps towards the Sith Grand Plan. So Sidious had to give credit to Obi-Wan when he recognized his actions on Mustafar represented a serious break from the recent history of the Jedi. Although it wasn't easy, Sidious knew that in Obi-Wan, a Jedi finally displayed a real intention to do what needed to be done, to destroy the Sith and not be held back by fears of the dark side. And Sidious knew that had this focus emerged earlier within the Order, it would have been a serious obstacle to his goal of taking control of the galaxy. So there we have it, how Obi-Wan's actions on Mustafar were interpreted by Darth Sidious. Thank you very much to all of the Patreon members of Star Wars Reading Club, as your support is so greatly appreciated. You can find all of our social media links and a link to our Star Wars gaming channel in the description below for updates and even more Star Wars content. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me... For resolute intention.